Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel Siena and Alex. Today we will be talking about long distance relationships. We're going to give our personal advice and what has worked out for us so far. We will be giving you 6 tips today for those of you who might want to start a long distance relationship. We will also be talking a little bit of our own relationship and things that have worked out for us. These are also included in the tips. We'll just be giving extra explanations. I will be the one doing the talking. She kind of understands what I'm saying, but English is not a language that she manages or understands 100% yet. So I'll be doing most of the talking. Whatever she understands, she'll probably nod to, say yes, and things like that.
I only can say bad words, so no.
I gotta teach her how to defend herself, right? So tip number 1, give them a gift. It's very special when that person has a gift of you that reminds you of them. They might be having a bad day, or you guys might be upset at each other, and they might seclude to that gift and see it and think of that person. Feel some kind of warmth or safety when they see it, or it could be a sweater, you don't know. So me and Siena gave each other our first gifts, which were rings. We bought them when we went on our first trip, which was in Tasco, which is located in Guerrero, Mexico. They weren't marriage rings or anything like that. They were just rings, and every time we would think of each other, if we had the ring on, if I was in the United States and she was in Mexico, and we felt a little bit lonely, I would feel the ring, and then I would think of her, and I would think of the moment that we bought them together. I also left a sweater with her once, and she really liked that gift because it had my scent or my perfume. After a while, the scent does go away, so she asked me, like last time I went back, she asked me the time after I came back that if I could leave a little bit of my perfume or cologne, my cologne with her, so she could spray it onto the sweater whenever she would wear it, and just kind of, it made her feel safe and warm, or made her think of me. I know it sounds weird, but when I would come to Mexico, they would use a laundry freshener, and it had a certain scent. So every time I'd wash my clothes over here, when I would go back to the US, I would kind of leave an item of clothes, maybe a sweater or a shirt that I wouldn't wash for a few days, just kind of hanging up in my closet. And I would smell that scent, and I would think about when we were together, when we were out here together.
Tip number 2, schedule.
And routines. So it's important that you guys know each other's schedules. Like if you're working or you're going to school, it was very important. Have a certain routine. For example, me and Siena, I would go to school and she was working, and we kind of knew each other's routines and when it would land, when we had free time where we can have quality conversation, either through the phone or video chat. So our routine usually was, when we first started off, it was like Sunday nights. We would take the time to talk, and we would talk like starting Sunday, 6 p.m. and we would talk for hours. Sometimes we would go past midnight just talking about how our week went, things that went bad, things that went good, and then we would talk about other things about our future together, and just anything in general. That we would have quality time together.
It's like a date.
It was like a date for us, so we would schedule a Sunday afternoon, and it was a date for us. As time went on, and we got closer, and then we got engaged, then we got married. It was literally an everyday thing. So before I would go to sleep, we would talk on the phone for at least an hour. We just kind of talk about the day, how we were, how things went, and that's pretty much what we would do. Tip number 3, trust. Trust is very important in a relationship. It's super important.
Yeah.
And just so you're aware, these aren't things that you can only apply to long distance relationships. You can have, these are things that you can apply to any relationship, honestly. But trust is a really big one, especially in a long distance relationship, when you're not seeing the person constantly. You don't get to know them as quickly, maybe, if you're not spending that quality time with that person. If you don't know them, you don't know how they are on their own. Maybe you met this person when you were friends and you kind of got to know them a lot before, but trust is a really big one. You don't jump to conclusions. So it's very important that you trust this person, and trust is built. It's not something you're just given. That other person, or vice versa, you have to help them, trust you. So you have to be honest every time you say something. You make sure you do it. it's very important, and that's kind of the way of life also. It kind of explains what kind of person you are. If you say something, you got to do it honestly. You can't just say something and then just let it go away. I mean, I think there's a lot of reasons relationships don't work out nowadays. Money is one of them for sure, but trust is a really big one, and I think any relationship really needs that trust.
Yeah. Okay. Number 4.
It's not quantity, it's quality. So it doesn't matter if you stay texting this person constantly, you're just blabbering about random things and you guys don't really build a kind of relationship or, you know, go into depth with each other's feelings or things like that. It's about the quality. So maybe, you know, like we would talk every Sunday night. We would definitely express ourselves and talk about what we felt, what we thought, what we like, what we don't like. And it's very important.
How are you thinking, feeling?
Yeah, it's very important to know these kind of things. Make sure you remember what this person tells you. It's not like, okay, you know, you're playing Xbox, they tell you something, you're like, oh yeah, and then you forget about it, you know? It was very important, and she has told me many times that it surprised her that she would, you know, mention something, and maybe it wasn't something so big, but I would remember it. Even if it was her favorite color, or something that she wanted to do, or something that she liked, or the food that she liked, or what she didn't like. And there were just things that I would remember, and that really, you know, made her feel important and loved and cared for.
I love that of you. Yeah.
Tip number 5. You always have to make time to see this person. I know if you have a long distance relationship, you know, maybe it's difficult economically for you to see that person. For example, me and Siena, I think the most that we went without seeing each other physically was 2 months, and that was like rarely. It was usually every other month that I would come visit her. And, you know, I would try to save as much as I could so I could, you know, the money that we would have, we would spend it out here, or we would travel, or we would do the other things, but we would do these activities together. So there wasn't like I would go out while I was in school, or the parties, or go to the bars, or, you know, things like that, you know, time for the boys. I mean, I would give time for them, but you don't necessarily have to spend money to give time to somebody. So I would save that money for when I would come out here, and, you know, I try to do it as much as I could, especially since I was in school. It wasn't easy for us to save up money, but we were able to do it, and it's very important that you make that sacrifice. If you want this relationship to work out. Maybe you just have a relationship because you want to try it out, or you think she's pretty, or things like that. But you really have to build a connection with this person, and, you know, give a little to receive more. You know, that's if you're looking for a future with this person and marry this person, or you see your whole life with this person. You know, you got to give up a little bit. Communication is the most important one. So you have to be able to communicate with that other person, and it doesn't matter, like you can't leave things for like guessing, or for the person to, you know, kind of figure out, like, oh, I'm just gonna be mad and I want this person to figure out why I'm mad. No, you have to be explicitly 100% honest with this person. And I don't think that's a big issue with me. I'm social, I'm a very vocal person, and an honest person. I'm really direct to the point.
Very honest person.
Yeah, it's gotten me into trouble sometimes, but I just don't know how to contain that part of myself. So communication is very important, even if it's like maybe you feel something like jealousy, or there's something you don't like. You got to let this person know. They can't just figure it out. And then this person has to agree to, you know, kind of like help you fix that, or just for the relationship. There has to be communication, and you guys both have to agree on what the relationship will be. I mean, every relationship is different, but as long as you both agree what the relationship's going to be like and what kind of guidelines you guys have for each other, that's going to either be the make it or break it. You know, it's very important that you want this relationship to work out. Like I said before, it can't be a relationship where you want, you know, 50-50, you know, maybe kind of have a relationship with this person, maybe not. You definitely have to commit 100% and be there for each other. Because otherwise it's not going to work out, and it's very hard, you know. If you find somebody that you love in another part of the world, you know, do your best to make it work out, because you don't know if that's your soulmate or not, and maybe people don't believe in that, and that's fine. They don't have to find somebody they necessarily want to be with their whole life. You know, everybody has their own kind of niche. For me, I found Siena and I really wanted to be with her. I really wanted to get to know her. So I definitely gave up a lot, and she has given up a lot also. And it's about commitment in these kind of relationships. As of right now, we're married. I've been living in Mexico on and off for the last 6 years. Since I finished school, I've been out here.
3 months.
Yeah, I would come out here for 3 months, and then I'd probably go back to the US for a month, and then I'll probably come back out here for 3 months. But this last time that I came back, we're trying to make it definite that I'm here with her. You know, since coronavirus hit, it's been really difficult for us, especially with her papers. She was supposed to have an interview on April 14th, but coronavirus kind of backed that up and they canceled the interview. So I think since we've been married, it's been over 2 years that we've been trying to get her papers so she can go to the United States. She's never visited, she's never been, and it's been really difficult. I'm not really political, but you know, when the last president was elected, because we knew it was going to be a little bit difficult, and it took 2 years, and then it was going to happen, and then coronavirus hit, and then it's just been a roller coaster ride, honestly.
Really hard.
It's really hard. We're here together right now. We're happy. We'd like to let you guys know that in the next few videos, like in October, we're planning a few trips. So you're gonna be seeing a lot of trips in this channel pretty soon. We'll also be talking about how I make money, how we make money online, what we do. And those videos are both in Spanish and English. If you guys look at our channel, it's bilingual. You can check it out. If you know Spanish, you know, props, and I hope you guys look at those videos. But for now, you know, if you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell for future videos.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.